Hello guys, welcome to S&E. Today I'm going to show you how to do the bench press safely and properly. Now the bench press is a really important exercise to start with, I reckon, because it's probably one of the most popular exercises in the gym, and it's also the most deadly. The bench press kills so many more people per year than any other exercise, right? So I really want to show you how to do this one safely, guys. So typically, for anyone who's interested in coaching exercise, typically the best way to do it is by using a positions approach rather than demonstration. So a lot of people try to do a full-on demonstration and then get the participant to do it, but sometimes that can be wrong because if they kind of miss important details in your demonstration, then they're going to do the exercise wrong. So I'm going to show a demonstration because I don't have a participant here, but I'm going to talk about the positions approach. So what I'm going to do is jump onto the bench press, right? So you're going to instruct your patient to sit on the bench press, lie down. Now it's important that they have a couple points of contact. They want their feet to be firm against the ground. They want their butt to be on the bench and their head. They can have a slight arch in their back, or the back doesn't have to be touching the bench. That's not that important. But as long as you've got the legs, the butt, and the head, those are your points of contact, and they're going to give you good power. Now, what I'll get the participant to do is place their eyes directly beneath the bar, and then you're just going to simply, what I would do first is I would ask them to pretend to grab the bar and to get them to perform a pretend repetition down to their chest, and then this is where the positions approach would come in. You would tell them to just pretend to lower the bar down to their chest, and then that's the hardest position to get into. And then once they understand that that is the position they need to be into, they can figure out the rest of the movement themselves. Obviously, you'll tell them to push the bar back up, but if you just tell them to push the bar back up, they're going to do that themselves. They're not going to, in the most efficient way possible. Like, they're not going to do some unnecessary movement, if that makes sense, right? Like, if you tell them to put the bar back up, it's not like they're going to go like that or like that. They're going to find their most efficient way of getting the bar straight back up above them. And that's why positions approach is good, because they can figure out how to do it themselves, and you've got them in the really important position so they know the fundamentals of the movement. Alright, so you get them to perform a pretend rep and then ask them to push it up, and then you can get them to do the same with the bar. So what you'll do is you'll instruct them to have their eyes beneath the bar, and then what I would say is to get their hands an equal distance apart from the midline, but in a position that feels comfortable. For some people that might be slightly closer, for some that might be slightly wider. The position of the hands on the bar is fine, it doesn't really matter, unless if it's like excessively close like this, because then that's probably a tricep exercise. And then if you're going too wide with heavy weight, that could decrease your power and potentially put some strain on the shoulders, right? So just whatever feels comfortable for them. Personally, I go slightly a bit in, as if like in the same position as a push-up, because that feels most comfortable for me. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make sure that this is set up properly. So for starters, I've set it up in an incorrect position. This is one of the incorrect positions that you can see. They'll perform a rep, and then it'll hit the bar before it gets low enough. So this is a wrong position because you're limiting the movement. All right. And now this is also an incorrect setup. In this instance here, no matter how low the bar goes, it's gonna get trapped on the neck, right? So the way that this exercise actually kills people isn't from it landing on the chest, because you've got quite a decent amount of protection on your chest. The way that this exercise kills most people is that they fail to perform the rep, and then the bar rolls over their neck and it suffocates them and they can't breathe. And this is a perfect example of how this exercise will kill you if I failed to perform a 1RM, because this would go directly over my neck. See, it's not on the bar now and it's over my neck. that would be very dangerous if it had a lot of weight on it. And if you've got weights on there, you're not just going to be able to tip it off, because you should have things on there to stop the weights from coming off anyway, which is safe. And even if you don't, sometimes the weights don't slide off. Plus, if you've stacked like 70 kilos on one side and you've already failed to perform the rep, it's going to be pretty hard to push one side up anyway. Okay? So please always set this exercise up properly, even if you're just doing it for yourself. Now, this is the correct position, and I'm going to emphasize why. So, here, I can perform a repetition. It can hit my chest, which means I can get the full range of motion from the movement, which is perfect, right? But if I fail a rep, what I can do is roll it back, and then it's going to hit the bar. And if I slide it over my face, you can see it's not on my neck, and I can easily slide out of that. No matter how much weight you've got on there, that's going to save you, and that is a perfectly good position. Sometimes in the gym, these holes might be too far apart to get a perfect position, and that's when you're going to have to be a bit innovative. Maybe you might have to raise the bench a little bit by putting like a thin weight underneath or something, but it is so important that you set this up properly, guys. So I'm just going to quickly go through this one more time now that I've got it set up properly. So I go, okay, can you please sit on the bench? Alright, now what I'm going to get you to do, your feet are going to be about shoulder widths apart or a bit further, whatever feels comfortable. Now I'm going to get you to lie back slowly, watching your head on the bar. Alright, now when you're lying here, it's important that you've got your 3 points of contact, your feet, your butt and your head. Now I'm going to get you to place your eyes directly beneath the bar, and I'm going to get you to grab up and pretend to lift the bar off the hook and perform a pretend repetition. You want to get the bar down to about your nipples and then push back up and return it. Now can you perform 2 to 3 reps of that? Perfect. Okay, now we're going to get you to grab the bar. What you do when you approach the bar is you put your hands a distance apart that feels comfortable, but it's got to be about even from the middle of the bar, so you don't have an imbalance. Now lift the bar off. Same position as before, you're just going to lower the bar down to your nipple, and then from there you're going to push straight back up, and you're going to perform 2 to 3 repetitions of that for me. Perfect. Now rack the bar, and that is a perfect movement. Now, if this is a client that's doing this exercise for the first time as well, I'd also get them to practice that escape position as well, where you'd lower it and roll it over your head. But that's it for the bench press, guys. Such a simple exercise, really, but it takes a really long time to explain it because you have to show the importance of the safety. All right, guys, now enjoy your exercise. Thank you.